I hope you guys are doing well tonight. I hope everybody had a great day. I am a little late to my live, but I decided to start at 10:30 and it's now 10:33. So welcome to Scale and Soul. Today we're going to be talking about your scale and your mind. And I really was trying to make some determination on what direction I was going to go with it and things like that. And then I had to get my notes together. So I had to reread everything and try to make sure I wrap my mind about which direction I'm going to go into it and where I'm at currently and where am I going. So that's what I was working on for myself. Again, I hope that your Sunday was very pleasing to you. I hope that you had a great, blessed day. And I hope that the rest of your week is very interesting. I'll just leave it right there. So tonight, I don't know. I know it's pretty late, and I know it's a Sunday. I know people got to work, and I know people watching football. All those things are happening right now. Probably was watching football. I don't know, basketball. I don't know what's on, right? But I don't know if my screen is. Let me make sure. Okay. So the things that we deal with when we're trying to do our way in. So currently today, I am, as you guys probably know, I have posted multiple videos this week. I have been on the scale a lot this month, and I also, my current weight, if you guys are watching the replay, just so you know, my current weight is 200.4 pounds. I kept thinking it was 200.6, but I knew I had point 0.5 to lose to get to 199.9, right? I'm not saying I want to get to that close of my weight loss journey, right? That's not what I'm saying. I am saying that that is somewhere that, I could land, and I'm going to do a smooth process in that, but I could land there and I'm okay with it, right? Because I'm out of the 200s. I do not plan to walk backwards. I can't continue to walk forward in this process, as well as I'm going to continue to look up for myself, continue to push myself forward, continue to look at my overall health in this process. As I look at my overall health, I think that, I have learned so much about myself through this whole journey of weight loss, right? And so my mind has truly shifted. I've had, like, today in the gym, I probably had like more of an emotional state sitting at the gym for about 3.5 hours than I probably ever had, of like a realization as to where I started and where I am, and making some mental decisions about how I'm going to move forward. And that's something I've been really just discussing and battling with myself mostly all week. And I took it in, I digested, I had to take some time to actually write it out for myself so I can see it like plain sight. Like, what is my plan going to look like moving forward? One thing that I said is that there's going to be, for myself, some definitely self care things that I'm going to be making sure is present in my life, making sure that I do all the time, making sure that I show up for myself like I didn't show up to myself maybe in the past, and making sure along that way that I don't lose sight of who I am as a person. So I know weight loss can be tough for some people, whether you're taking a medication for it or whether you're not taking a medication for it, or overall health, whether it's your mental state or your physical state or emotional state. It all means something, right? We can have an emotional detachment with food, right? We can have our mental state can be off, so we could not even be focused on those things that can be happening to us throughout our whole bodies. And then we have the whole like physical of looking a certain way and trying to present ourselves in front of people because we may look unhealthy, right? But not only are you looking unhealthy, you might be really feeling unhealthy along your journey, right? And when I say by feeling, it could be multiple different things. It could be swelling feet. It could be you're unable to get from like unable to even walk like a minute without getting out of breath. I've been there before, right? So I'm going to speak about these things because this has been me before. If you unable to get up and down the stairs without getting out of breath, right? if you're feeling like you can't even get to the refrigerator, right, without feeling exhausted, that might be an indication that there's time for a change, right? It might show up in multiple different directions. It might show up on the scale, right? It might show up in lab paperwork from your doctors. And sometimes, even when the doctor's explaining to you what is going on in your body after the results are there, sometimes we still don't absorb it because we're not in the mental state to receive it, right? So you're not in the mental capacity to receive the information at all. So it's like a blockage. Just like someone's talking to you and you're like you have headphones on, like you really can't hear them, right? And even if people around you are saying like, things that might encourage you to move forward and to help you along your journey, if you are dealing with something emotional or on your mental state, it still can be like a fog, right? Like your ears are blocked, you can't hear anything, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't even matter. You're not thinking about that right now, or maybe you're dealing with something that's unrelated to your health and you're just blocking everything out. So there's so many different directions that this can go. But at the end of the day, we have to make a conscious decision to decide to either move forward in our journey, or we have to make a conscious decision that, hey, you know what, this is not going to work for me. I'm not going to move forward in my journey. I'm going to continue to live how I'm going to live, right? It takes the epitome of something sometimes bad happening for you to have a realization that, hey, my health is important. And when you come to that state, right, and sometimes it takes people longer than others to get to that state, but when you get to that state of, hey, I need to do something to make that change for me, not for what anybody else is saying, not for what my doctor is saying, not for what, other people have to say about me, but for me. I'm making a change internally for me. It's time for me to put myself first. And when you start to do that and you start to unravel these things that's happening or that has happened, you can find yourself like dealing with things that you never thought you were dealing with before, but you realize all along that it was all in your head. It was all mental things that you had to depress like with yourself, right? And it's truly the reflection off of the mirror of understanding, okay, this is who I really am and this is where I'm going. Hi, Jen. How are you? Welcome in. This is where I am. This is where I'm going, and you know, where am I gonna go to get the results that I need to get? And sometimes no one really knows where to go to get the results. They don't know, right? They're really relying sometimes on themselves, but sometimes on their providers. But when you're stuck, please know that like eventually you will like walk out of it. Eventually you will walk out of that state, but you just really have to consistently speak to yourself. Hello Felicia, how are you? You have to consistently speak to yourself, consistently encourage yourself through the process, even though it may hurt sometimes, right? And I think I was there today, right? So as I looked up, like, I think I was in the process of leaving the gym, right? I actually stayed like an extra hour and a half because I thought I had to do something and then I realized I didn't have to do it. So I actually stayed to finish my full workout. When I say that is I definitely had stopped in between because I needed to really I had like a whole mental breakdown because I'm like, okay, I'm here. I see that the weight is coming off. Understand that the weight is coming off, but I'm still dealing with something that's bigger than me. And I think it was the me recognizing that this has been a not an easy journey. Even though it's a medication that I'm on, I think sometimes we really think that it's easy for those people just taking it, and it wasn't. It hasn't been easy for me. I had to really work hard, really really hard at getting where I am. And I don't say that minimally. I just say that like, changing my food habits. I say that by doing a whole bunch of things. I really need to like I really had to deal with it within myself that me coming to the gym, me being consistent in the gym, and then me walking away and saying, okay, did I do a good job? I didn't know if I was doing enough, if I had to go to the gym or not. Either way, it was okay with me. I was okay with anything that literally came forth to me. I didn't pay it any mind. I didn't, you know, I didn't step to the left or to the right along the way. No, I consistently try my best to just, okay, let me see what I can do. Let me make sure I'm eating the right foods. Let me make sure I'm putting that in my body. And I got so absorbed with just losing the weight that like I also thought that I was like losing myself along the way, right? Um, and then so every day that like that I really am still trying to make sure that my weight is like coming down. I'm like I keep trying to tell myself like, hey, um, is tomorrow gonna be better? Am I gonna be like at my weight goal? Like, um, my main thing was like right now it was like my panel. Like when my panel comes back and I asked for it like at the 6 month mark, when that comes back to me, when that time comes that I'm at my year, I want to see where I'm at, to see my whole like my ENT results. I want to also see not only my ENT results, I also want to see like how my A1C is. I want to double check my A1C. So that's important to me too, to see like, okay, where are my numbers? Where do they live at? And when I get there, when I see the results, I think that would be a better understanding of for me as to, okay, I'm doing what I needed to do, or I did what I needed to do. Um, Trying to eat the right foods along the process. Sometimes we still don't know if that's helping or not, because I don't really know everything that's happening every day in my body, but I'm trying my best, right? So I think we put our best foot forward, but at the same time is like I don't know if I put too much time into worrying about my food and going to the gym, and then I lose myself in it. But because I felt like I lost myself, I really felt like I like broke down at the gym, because I'm like, oh my God, like yes, I'm almost at 199, but I feel like I didn't do enough. I didn't do enough. I need to do more. I need to do more. And I consistently keep doing more, right? I've consistently kept going at it no matter what the scale may say, no matter, how I felt, I just kept going. And it's really it hasn't been easy, but I can say that it's worth it. So today I say that it's worth it, and I know that it's changing me as a person. It's also changing me mentally. It's the physical is there, right? I can look in a mirror. I was actually today going through some I was trying to even find like did I have any like old pictures or anything like that. And I did find like a few old pictures. And that was like from like New Year's Eve from like my son's birthday. His birthday's January 1st. So I did find that like we were going out and I had like a couple pictures from like the mirror of me like taking pictures and videos and stuff like that that I had. And I actually thought it was like interesting. I was like, okay, this is dope. Like I get to see myself of my version before I actually started this, even though it wasn't like right before. I still have a couple of photos of what I looked like. And so I was well, it was like photos, and like some of it was with my daughter. So like I even said like if I had to do like a chopping out, it'll look kind of funky because the way the picture is, but at least it's like December 31st, right? So I know that date is gonna come again, and I'm always probably gonna be doing something fun with my kids on that day. So I would get to revisit that time frame again, and that's very important to me, of me revisiting something that I normally do. Like I always celebrate with my son on his birthday. I always celebrate with on the between the 31st and the first. We're always doing something, as everybody is in around the world, right? You're bringing in something new, a new beginning, and things like that. I'm thankful that I'm here to be with my kid for another year, and he's here with me for another year of life. That's my thanks all the time during New Year's. And so holiday time and stuff like that, when people are thinking about Christmas, I'm literally thinking about my son's birthday. I don't really, honestly, am not a big Christmas person. So that's something that, I celebrate, but I'm not like a big person to be like, hey, I care about Christmas that much. I really don't. I really am focused on like birthdays more, of celebration of life. And I look at the celebration of life as like my son. Hi, Jane, how are you? And so, a big part of the holidays for me, um, again, living without my dad is like it's just here, right? That's been my thought lately. But as it comes and goes, I know that something great's coming, which is my son's birthday. So that's how I look at it. That's my viewpoint, and I do have pictures from that because I celebrate it every year. So those pictures were very interesting. I looked really, really like very different. And I was doing like a cross comparison as my today as to what it was in the past. And I was like, wow, you can really see the difference. And then I actually came across a video. I don't know if I thought I was going to be doing content or something. I noticed I had a video out there for like a 10-minute video talking about like, hey, this is my 7.5. Um, I'm on 7.5. This is my week 9 or whatever. So evidently I took a video and I thought about posting it, but I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna post it or not. But anyways, it shows also how I looked at that time, and that was only like 9 weeks into the journey, right? And then after that, I barely have anything else. So I say that to say that like even in the beginning of my journey, it feels like my mental state was like pretty good, even though I couldn't breathe and I was feeling like horrible. Um, it felt like my mental state. It wasn't a realization at that point that like, hey, I need to get it together mentally, right? It really hit me kind of like hard, like for some reason today. I don't know if it feels like I'm crossing like some type of like what does it say when you're going through a marathon, like the finish line, right? Like I'm finishing the 200s and I'm just like realizing that I'm getting back to being a person that I was before. I had to like remind myself of like how did I get here. I was like reflecting basically back on like me losing my gallbladder and like all the stuff I dealt with from that time over again. And I was like speaking about it too. And I was just like, wow. And I actually just took the time and just wrote it out. Like, I just wrote it all out of how I was feeling. Because I felt like I can verbalize it a kind of, but I can really digest it when I start to like really write things out all the way and say, Michelle, you're feeling this way because of X, Y, and Z, right? And these feelings are real. I'm gonna acknowledge them today because they're real. They're not fake. You are dealing with something emotionally, and I don't want it to affect me physically. I don't want to just be like, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. So I had to like really like get all that out of what I was feeling at the time. But then not only that, I also had to understand that it's bigger than the scale. And I keep telling myself that, like, Michelle, just don't look at the scale. But again, I wanted to enjoy this moment of this month. So I really did look at the scale more. But I won't be after this. After I pass this 199.9, I won't be looking at the scale like that. I don't know how some people do it. I mentally realize I can't do it. And that would caught me really close today that I cannot do this. As much as I may want to do it, I can't. I really have to go to like once a month and continue to look at it in that perspective. And then if I need to come back to looking at it more frequently, I will. But like that probably would be probably when I'm close to like 100 that I want to like know when I physically cross that line of being at 100. To that point, right? After I had my emotional breakdown and I came back to life, I feel like I was revived a little bit and I kind of had a like conversation with God about this whole situation that I was going through. I basically then like went and like weighed myself. Um, but when I weighed myself, I was just like, okay, I'm just whatever it is, right? And it was still 200.4. Like I really say like the scale's playing with me or now I'm in this huge stall that I don't know when I will ever get to 199, but that's fine. We'll see what next Friday has in store for me, I guess, right? If I get the courage to do it again in midweek. But for now, I guess it will be Friday. If it still says 200.4, fine. I already told God like I'll accept it for whatever it is. And I'll let it be on his timing and not mine because evidently my timing is wrong. So I'll allow that to continue to go through my process. But um, I wasn't just so it's clear. Like I wasn't upset about the fact that I am like still like 200.4. I'm more dealing with the fact that you know of me going through a lot um, through this whole journey. It's been really different for me. And everything wasn't about weight. It was more about everything as a whole. And I kind of like could have like took in the information and also this journey. I could have like definitely just like not did it because I feel like there was so many things to stop me to say don't do it. You need to focus over here. Don't do it. My work is piling up. Don't do it because of this. Don't do it because of that. And I didn't. I really kept going. I kept striving for excellence, even though I felt like excellence wasn't there for me. I felt like I wasn't receiving excellence from those things around me. I kept striving for excellence. And again, I feel like I'm always my own critic, right? Because like as someone who, and I'll explain this very briefly, as someone who was, dyslexic and was not able to like read very well and didn't have good writing skills, and was dealing with that as a young person, I still wanted to stay in the library. I still wanted to read books. I used to go to the library until like midnight when I was in college, just to help myself so I can become better, right? Throughout all of that, even having, I was pregnant with my son in college. I still worked three jobs and went to school full time and lived on campus and still got honors. Like, I am like an overachiever beyond measure. And I understand that some people are not overachievers, and sometimes being an overachiever is not probably one of the best things. But for me, it was something I experienced most of my whole life is I'm an overachiever. I'm gonna strive for excellence no matter what I do and how I do it. And I'm not looking for self validation from anyone around me to say, Michelle, you're doing a great job, or Michelle, you could do like, oh, Michelle, this is this. I'm not looking for that, but if I'm given that, I'm okay with it. I'm always been acceptive of feedback, because I feel like your growth is based on feedback. So if someone is telling me that, hey, you're in the gym, like, I tell myself right now, like, I don't want to be like, I want to I'm like I say, I don't want to be. I want to basically tone my body up more. So where I'm at today, I want to look better in the next before June. Say that before my birthday. I want my body composition to look better than what it looks today. So that's something that I wrote down to my body composition. And because of that, I am going to do the Stairmaster for 30 to 45 minutes until I get to an hour. I'm going to be consistent. I'm not going to just do the 10 minutes that I used to do. I'm turning it up a notch, and I'm going to push myself for that 30 minutes to 45 minutes to an hour. Hopefully by next June, I'll be at that hour mark, you know? What else am I going to do? I'm going to consistently do what I've been doing before. But I am going to make sure that there's no mistakes in between, because I want to show up for Michelle. I don't want to show up for anybody else. I want to show up for me. And so that's something that I'm putting on for myself. That's something that, I am like, I wrote it down already. That's one of my small goals, and I know that it's going to be turned into a bigger goal, because when the results are there and I can show my before and my after of all the things that I've done, whether I've done hula hoop, if I done planks, the things that I've done, any type of squats, all these things, the small little things that I push for, whether it was a challenge or not a challenge, just things I was doing in the gym, all add up to success. Success is not just from one action, it's from multiple actions. The things I received my degree for when it was hard for me to go to school, and I didn't just decide to get my bachelor's and stop. I took a year off because my son was ill, and I went back and I got my master's right after that. And even when I had to like be in the hospital and work on my master's degree, I still did it. And I still strive for the best for my grades, because once you have your master's, you got to get a B or better. Not a B minus, you got to get a B or better. Even to the point of showing up for my cap and gown for my master's, and finding out that one of my teachers gave me a B minus and I won't be walking, and I thought I would be walking. All of that is perseverance for me and allowed me to just keep going. And I stayed in school that extra year. Why? For education purposes. Because I think it's always good to learn. For when you have the capabilities to learn, to read, to write, to do these things, and without thinking about it, you just do them, right? And when you don't have the capabilities to do it and you have to strive for it and work hard for it, that's what I mean. That's what's putting me in my seat today to say, Michelle, if you want your body composition the way you want it, you're going to have to work hard for it. You're going to have to put yourself in your own boot camp and strive for excellence in this situation. And that's what I'm doing right now. It's was a mental breakdown for me to realize that, I've come too far to walk away now. as much as I want to give up, but I'm going to continue to push. And I just like kept talking to myself today and still trying to remain focused with everything else going on around me. People probably saw me breaking down on the stairmaster. What is wrong with this girl? Why is she crying? But again, I didn't capture the moment because again, I my phone, I'm trying not to record on the stairmaster because of the way the thing is set up. Today I even went and the setup was even different. I guess it depends on what gym I'm in. But anyways, that's needless to say about what's happening. What's happening is that, the whole point is remaining focused in your mind, your body, and your soul as to what you're doing and sync your results not just for the number on a scale, but for your own mental, right? For to better you internally, in that, you would continue to strive for what those things that you may want or those things that you may need throughout your life, not because of what somebody else says, not because what your doctor says, not because of what anybody on YouTube says, not because what anybody says to you, but because you choose to make the decisions you're making. And then know that you're in good hands, right? Because you're doing it for you. And that the results that yield from the choices that you made is because those are the choices you made. And I'm always gonna like let you know that like I'm reflecting back myself on the different things that I went through in my life. Why? Because it's real. It's real. It's not a made up story. So if it's been done before, it can be done again. It's just a different aspect. It's weight loss, right? If I did it for my education, I could do it again. If I did it for my health, I could do it again. If I did it because I got in a bad car accident and I recovered, I did it before and I'm gonna do it again. Because those things are subjectively my story. This is my life, this is my journey, this is my story. Okay? And you are creating your own story right now. You're creating the journey within your life, whatever that means, right? So some people in their journey, in their story right now, they literally are living in a time of the unknown, right? And I say that because there's a lot of unknown that's happening right now with people. And we subjectively may feel comfortable with getting up and just going to work like it's nothing, right? But then somebody else don't have the opportunity right now. And if they do have the opportunity to do it, they may not be getting a paycheck. And so, like, subjectively, we really have to understand and have more caring and compassion for those people that are pushed right now to the side and they can't do anything about it. And we have to understand that, it's important to understand that when somebody has the inabilities to do something, we really need to have more compassion for them, whether it's right now or whether it's in the near future, understanding that, we don't know what our tomorrow may bring, right? And like I told you, in my car accident, I had no idea that day that I wouldn't be able to function moving forward in my life the way I wanted to. It was an eye opener for me. Like, wow, my life just shifted immediately like that. So that's why I say be kind to others. Peace, love, and happiness. Why? Because those are the things you need to have within you, right? And I know it's sometimes hard because people are so easy to be critical of others, but not think about the things that they could change within themselves. So before I'm critical to others, I really focus on me. I really focus on me because I honestly don't know what that person on the other side may be dealing with. Honestly, I don't know that. There's so many people that I met throughout my life, throughout my journey, in different capacities of environments that it was like a wow moment once I understood what they were really living with or really going through on the other side. And it's like, wow, we really should not. Like they told us like years ago, whether you heard the concept or not, you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. But as people, we do, right? We do. We tend to be judgmental. And even though we shouldn't judge, we do judge. And some of these messages really that I give you that I'm giving to you are really things that really make you reflect on who you are as a person and trying to help you become a better person, because you could be that person that's critical of others. You could be the person that find faults in other people but don't find fault in yourself. There's a lot of people out there that do that and they consistently do it, but all in actuality, those people, that's because you can't even look yourself in the mirror to see that you have like things that need to be changed in yourself, because God gives us all the capacity to change things within us. But until you take the time to do that, you would never recognize it. You only recognize it in the next person, but you don't recognize it in yourself. And yes, it's the truth, but it's a harsh truth. And the truth of the matter is, that's why you have to be respectful. You have to treat people with kindness. You have to understand that everybody's different. I love that we are all different. I love it. It's the best thing in the world. I love also when we come on here and we're all different. I like to be different. I don't want to be like nobody else. I listen, I tell people my story all the time. When I was in college, I would put on, I remember, I forgot the color because of my memory, but I know it was two different colored shoes I had. If I can, maybe I can text my friend later and ask her what color shoes I used to have. I used to have one color and one the other, and it was my style. And it was the same shoe but different colors. And I used to like to be different. I never wanted to be like the next person. And let me tell you, my friends, they're stylish, both of them. Two of my good friends, they're stylish. And still, we all had our own style. We had our own swag. We have our own thing. I like to be me. I think that God only created one Michelle, and there cannot be two of me. So I honestly don't want to imitate, don't want to copy. I want to be nothing like nobody else. I want to be like me. I like being me. I like that God created me to be me. I really do. I appreciate that. I appreciate my talk. Appreciate the different challenges I have in my life. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with whatever He brings to me because I know that He has kept me. He has kept me for a reason. I don't know all the reasons, but I know that He kept me here for something greater, something greater that's me. Oh, you used to do that with your Converses. Awesome. I don't know. I can't remember the kind of shoes they were. I really have to ask my friend. I don't know if she's on here or not, but I have to probably ask her. And I think she was. I think. Yeah. I think. I don't know where she's at right now because she didn't tell me. But I haven't talked to her today. But yeah. So just know that just know that being different is being unique is beautiful. I think that that's what makes you you, right? And continue to be that, and continue to better you no matter what. And if this or any message that I bring forth, just know that it's coming from a good place. The things that I say, the things that I put forth and out of my mouth, it's always my heart is truly pure. I don't have any malice or anything like that, but I do see, I hear, and I know that, for me, it's like my messages that I already have that God has sent to me and that I have written down and that's already planned. He has it set for a certain time. And sometimes I have to go back through and be like, oh man, I changed the subject to today. But you know what? I'm going to continue to talk. I'm going to continue to speak on whatever it is at the time, but I will go back to it and say, okay, I'm going to keep up with these messages. And they're already set. So as things penetrate your mind, penetrate your soul, it's because you should hear the message. The message is the message. And us changing our metabolics of internally or comorbidities in our bodies or our weight on the scale, just know that, you know, um, this is bigger than you. And it was funny because I still laugh about it. It's still in my head, Teddy. I'll tell you that. When you put, everybody's taking it, is it the mark of the beast? That was very interesting. I'll tell you why. Because God would never put me in it. I was like, whoa, that was deep, but God would never put me in there. And I say that strongly because, like, yes, it is the thing that they said that it will look like it's good for you, but it's not. Oh, you gotta go read that again. Um, but again, so I don't think that, but it also gave people something to think about. And I was like, never thought about that. Interesting topic. But no. And I was like, it is something to deceive you, but nah, it's definitely um I don't know what it could be, right? But one thing I tell you is that God protects. Like He protects us. He puts a shield over us and He will continue to be with us. And this medication I feel like is healing people. And we don't realize the things that can heal us from multiple different things within our bodies. Um, and some people said, something else was that too. Again, it's all about your perception, it's all about beliefs, but I don't call things as if they're not, as if there is. But I was like, I love I love the interesting connectivity to that, I'll tell you that. But yeah, switching back to what I was discussing. Yeah, it's always good for you, right, as a person, to know who you are. And sometimes you have to relearn yourself. And this is the opportunity that you're getting to relearn your body, but don't forget to relearn your mind. Don't forget to relearn who you are. Don't forget to relearn. I'm going to say that again. Don't forget to relearn who you are, because you're missing the mark if you're looking at others. If you're looking to compare yourself to this person, to that person, and what this person is doing, you're not focused on you. You have to speak to yourself, encourage yourself. And we may not even know that we're missing the mark because we could be so critical. And that's something I draw away from. I draw away from being critical towards others. I try to give everyone grace. And because God has made us all differently. Again, you don't have to believe what I believe. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with, people not being on the same regiment as me. But I'm telling you right now, you still need to relearn yourself. And you need to relearn what your body is saying. Because your body is your temple. Your body is speaking to you. And if it shows you that it's changing you, it can change the inside and spoil, like it could change like the outside of who you are, but really like spoil the inside of who you are, meaning your soul, because you have lost focus of really who you were. And you have taken this journey and flipped the page of something that God didn't intend you to be. That you have lost yourself. Don't lose yourself on your journey. Be a better version of who you are. Let it be like not just like the candy looking good on the outside, but when you chew it and swallow it is horrible on the inside because it's tearing up your, that kind of stuff. No, we're not looking for temporary fixes. We're looking for a lifelong fix within our bodies. That's what we're looking for. Your bodies will always tell us what's wrong with us. We just have to listen. Yes, that's true. And so as you go along your day, your weeks, your month, take it minute for minute, take it hour for hour. Because sometimes it may not show up on the scale. It may show up in other relationships. It may show up at your front door. It may show up with an indirect person. It may show up on your job, right? These are areas that things that you are doing that you're ignoring could show up in other ways and on other functionalities, because we are tuning off the things we need to focus on us. And it's important. It's really, really important. And I say that like not to scare anybody, but it's important because you are so, like, you have been given like a huge responsibility, right? And that responsibility is to take care of you and those around you that he has put in your life. And all the other things are like secondary. And not forgetting about that. Not forgetting to still show love and compassion even when you see a stranger. Even when you're at the grocery store and you feel frustrated. Even if you show up to work tomorrow and your boss says something rude to you and you don't like it, say something kind back. Even when things are not working out for you, know that your problems that you may have that can show up in any form or fashion, even if your scale number is changing, if you're not changing who you are internally, you're missing the mark. Because if you're still angry when someone passes you in traffic and they cut you off, if you're still, angry because you don't like something and so you're being dismissive towards other people or to other things, because your delivery has to be rude and disrespectful because you feel like that's who you've always been. Let me tell you, this girl in front of you is not who I always been. But I decided to work on myself consistently. And my friends will, if they will tell you, I have not always been this person. Okay. The person I've been hasn't always been who I am today. And today I am a, like, I stand differently. I stand with a lot of patience, with a lot of understanding, and I give people a lot of grace, and I love on them even if they have a problem with me. Even if people don't like me, I'm still going to show up for me. Even if they don't care about me, I'm still going to show up and do it for me. I have thick skin, and I feel like I can take anything anybody has to say, but I'm telling you, if I have something to say back, I will speak up because I'm not a silent person. I feel like you have to know when you are wrong, and you have to know when to move forward and to do something differently. And when wrong is wrong and right is right, that's that. And again, that's my perception. That's not yours. That's the way I see things. That's not the way I'm expecting you to see things. I'm not expecting you to be happy that the scale is not moving. I'm not expecting you to feel happy about that. But what I am expecting you to do is take accountability. And what does that mean? Even if you feel like you're doing everything, then you have to think again. You could do something else. What does that something else can mean? I don't know what that looks like to you. I don't know. I don't know. It could look differently for every person. But that's why our bodies are very different. Um, Felicia responds and says, I always smile and treat people with kindness, even on my worst days, just because I'm having a bad day. Doesn't mean someone else should experience the bad day with me. Correct. Correct. Yeah. So having grace, having understanding, and understanding that, like, be kind to others. We don't know. But like the scale not moving or something not happening to you on this journey because it's not happening for you, it's okay. Just tweak that, like change the tune a little bit. Maybe you're on AM, you need to turn to FM. I don't know what you have to do. But for me, I know my body, and all I'm saying is for me, somebody can tell me like I'm doing great, and like I said, I am hard on myself. I could be doing great in the numbers that I'm producing, like 10 pounds a month and stuff like that, as being my average, 10 to 12 pounds a month. And it was like 9 and now it's going like, okay, it might be 6 this month, possibly. I don't know. I lost 4 and then I lost like another 2, so it might be 6 this month. um it would be to me that, maybe, Michelle, you got to tune something up a little bit. So I changed my tune. I came, like I said, I evaluated myself today all the way, emotionally, physically, everything, to say, hey, you got to change this. I wrote it down. I talked to myself over and over because I needed to make sure I get it in. No matter what anybody says to me, Michelle, you need to do these things, and I'm gonna do them. And it's gonna take a lot of me. Especially, I was just like, what about the time? How am I gonna squeeze this in? What am I gonna do? And like, I'm gonna figure it out. So figure out what your change has to be, if there needs to be a change in any direction. I don't care if it's regarding your weight, or regarding your emotions, or regarding your mental state. Change the things that need to change, and then continue to see how that works for you. Try anything that you try. I always say at least try it for 30 to 60 days to see if it's really working for you. Don't, like, I'm not going to tell you not to do something. You can do whatever you want. But suggestion, right? I got to watch my words. Being just a suggestion. You can try something for a week and see if it works, right? If it doesn't work, then stop doing it, right? But I always say, to me, in my perception, is like, sometimes 30 to 60 days is better than just like a week of trying something. So, you know, um, is it your expectation to still lose 10 pounds a month, or just trying to understand? No, it's not my perception to lose 10 pounds a month. It is my perception to have my body composition look way better than what it looks. So if the adjustment that I'm doing is not regarding the scale, Jane, hopefully that's, I don't know if I'm saying that right. If I'm not, just clarify your question a little bit more. But yeah, so the scale number is not gonna be my focus. I want to get out of the 200. So that's my focus right now, right? I want to be very clear. I do want to get out of the 200s. But the number 10 on the scale, is not important, right? But my body composition, along with what I've been doing, is not where I want to be as of today. And I know that if I keep doing what I've been doing, if I when I'm done with getting to next June, my year mark is March, but next June, I believe that I would be very disappointed in my body composition if I didn't change anything now. So it's, yeah. So I'm okay with moving forward with, once I get to 199, I'm okay. Guys, am I back? I don't know. I don't know if I'm back because I was trying to like exit out something on my screen. I don't know if I'm back or not, but I hope I am. Um, I basically want to just get out of 199. I mean, get out of the 200s and then consistently work on my body composition. But I'm starting now. I just I started. Oh, okay, I'm back. Okay, great. I starting now on my body composition now because I want my body to look different than what it looks now. So that's something that is very important to me. Um, I I I always, so I'm gonna say this. I love my legs. I really. Hi Jacob, how are you? I really really love my legs. So I really want, my expectation for my legs to continue to be the way I want them to be, right? And so that's that. Oh, you're doing good. That's good. I'm glad that you're having a great Sunday. Jane, did I answer your question? I just want to make sure before I move forward. I just want to make sure I clarified that. Um, yeah. And so that's what's the most important for me right now. And so like moving forward after I get to 199, if indeed, the food that I'm eating, which I'm making sure I'm really trying to make sure I'm eating very healthy. Um, the food that I'm eating, me going to the gym, and me trying to stay in the right mental state. Because also in the mental state part, I do want to say stress also makes you not lose the weight that you should be losing. So really, when I talk about like your mental and stuff, is really bigger than just the scale because you may stop losing because of like your stress. Like when they say like stress will kill you, it could. So understanding that things can start working, and maybe I'll like, I don't have this, I have to look through my list. I don't think I have a topic on stress, honestly. I don't think I do. But oh, you're from Canada? Awesome. Um, I don't think I have. Are you on a weight loss journey at all? Are you are bettering your health in any type of way? If not, you can still watch. I'm just telling you I'm on my weight loss journey just so you're aware. Um, so the things that really, thank you for coming in as well. The things that really can like change is stress. So like understanding your mental part is very 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 important. Um yeah, definitely. Yes, Jane. That's, I think that might be my biggest thing possibly right now. Yes, I agree. So what Jane was saying is that basically she thinks that like the stress might be impacting myself, which it is. And that's what I recognize, and that's why I'm like decompressing like everything today. Like, okay, I gotta figure this out so I can continue to move forward. Um, and that's basically what I'm doing. Um, and so, Jacob, I am on the East Coast, just so you're aware, of the U.S. Yes. And so I also feel like that I don't have any messages on stress, but it really could affect you on your weight loss journey. And I might think about writing something. Um, oh, okay, awesome. So, um, the things that really like push me to kind of the edge is the unwarrant of information, the unwarrant of things that you purposely do towards people just because you feel like you can. And that's why I really stick. You probably hear me say it probably every live, watch how you treat people, right? Because I feel like treating people with any type of any kind of way is just not okay. Whatever that looks like, it's just not okay. I think you should be respectful towards others. I think that you know, no matter what it looks like to you, it could look different for somebody else. So yeah, that's that part. And so that's all I had tonight. And I've let me see if I have it. Actually, I don't think I do. No, I'm gonna have to show it next time. I thought I brought it in with me, but I didn't. Um, of something I was gonna share with you guys. So maybe if I remember tomorrow, I meant to bring it in. But I didn't. So definitely just remind yourself just to keep things mind, body, and soul, and continue to, strive for excellence in everything you do, and remember to be kind. Um, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm happy that you are going on a trip, and I hope that you enjoy it. And be safe. So remember to be kind to others, to love on others, and to, be kind to yourself. For most importantly, kind to yourself. So with that being said, until tomorrow night at 10 p.m., I'll say peace, love, and happiness. Good night.